Trash.com.
It's a wonderful night. Gotta shake it for me. Right about now, Funk Soul Brother.
Okay, this man, he's got 9 MTV awards. He has an Ivor Novello Award for outstanding contribution to British music. He has 3 Brit Awards, 1 Grammy. He's run a Brighton Marathon. He's a British and Brightonian treasure. Please put your hands together for Mr. Fatboy Slim!
Suspended from the scene to.
Can anyone take his coat or not? Is that it?
That's all right.
Put Norman Cook's coat down like that. That's right.
I do like a grand entrance.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Well done, everyone.
Thanks for the big build-up.
How are you, alright?
I'm good.
How was your Christmas?
My Christmas was great. It was very busy, lots of family.
Lots of kids, 2 kids
Lots
now?
of kids, yeah. It's all very child-orientated now, but you don't want to hear about that. It's all very rock and roll.
We'll build up.
Okay.
And what was the worst present you got this Christmas?
The worst present, mine's gone blank. A pair of Dr. Martens,
Classic.
30-year-old Dr. Martens that my brother thought were my old Dr. Martens, and he said, "Oh, I found your old Dr. Martens in the attic." So he made them in a plastic presentation thing, which is fantastic, except they weren't mine. There were some workman's boots that he
What do you get the man that can afford everything?
Socks.
Okay.
Socks and I've got a pair of slippers for my wife, but that's not very rock and roll.
Classic stocking filler.
Yeah.
What did you do for New Year this year?
I went to Dubai with the family.
Lovely.
And then I went on a rave cruise from Fort Lauderdale with 30 DJs and 3,000 ravers in an Italian cruise ship that ran aground, bizarrely. But that was
Is that a joke?
No. I kid you not. We ran aground on a sandbank for 14 hours, but the bars were open, so no one seemed to really mind, and we couldn't sink because we were already on the bottom.
Okay. Well, good times. Right, let me talk you through the format of today's show.
Right.
And everyone else. We're going to have like 4 sections and play some Sony Award-winning games, hopefully. We've got some questions from the audience live, and we've also got some questions that I've been sent to ask on their behalf as well. But during this first section, first 2 minutes, I just want to talk about your music and touring in general.
Okay.
Now, you have made a hell of a lot of people very, very happy, including your wife, I'm sure. Do you still... Do you still get a buzz when your music is played on radio?
Yeah, I get more of a buzz from DJing. Every time I DJ, I look at young people having fun, and I feel young and have fun with it. I kind of sort of feed off them. So that's what really excites me, is because you can't beat watching people like dancing and getting laid and getting drunk. You can't beat that and thinking I'm responsible for that. And on the radio, kind of, I don't know. Because I haven't had any hit records for a few years. The ones I hear on the radio tend to be the old ones, so I'm kind of used to hearing them on the radio.
So what new music have you got in the pipeline?
Not a huge amount, I'll be honest. Kind of the last couple of years I've been really enjoying DJing, and I'm kind of aware at my age that this is my sort of my last moments of it. So there's life in the old dog yet, but no, I've been having so much fun DJing. I haven't really had time with New Baby. I don't get in the studio that much, but I produced Rizzle Kicks last single.
One of the best bands to come out of Brighton.
Yeah, local boys. But apart from that, I haven't really done a lot in the studio.
This year is going to be a massive year for you touring. You've got a whole heap of dates around the world, and 1st and 2nd of June, you're going to be at the MX for the Beach Boutique 5. How does that compare to playing in a stadium compared to playing on Brighton Beach? Where do you prefer to be?
Well, going on the fact I've never actually played a football stadium before, that's an unknown quantity, but when we started doing the parties on the beach, no one had ever done a big rave on Brighton Beach either, so it's kind of a journey into the unknown, but it's really exciting, especially after all these years. I've played at Glastonbury and I've played nightclubs and beach parties around the world, but I've never done a football stadium. And also, it's very close to my heart because I live in Brighton, I'm very proud of Brighton, I'm an Albion fan and I've been involved with the team. So yeah, for me it's kind of every schoolboy's dream to be allowed to do a gig in the football stadium with your football team and and to your home crowd. So for me, it's potentially the best gig of my life.
You've got Carl Cox and Nero supporting. That's an amazing lineup. You're going to ask the audience a question?
Oh, well, yeah, we've kind of figured on Carl Cox on the Friday night, so that's more house-based, and then Nero on the Saturday night, which is more sort of bass influenced. But we're kind of still working out the rest of the lineup, and I was just wondering, me being a father of two, not knowing who we should have maybe lower down on the bill.
You still know who's cool at the moment?
Well, I thought I did, but I just wanted to check that I'm still in touch with you.
These guys.
So, any suggestions about who we should have? So, we're looking for house DJs and kind of dubstep bass DJs. Skrillex. Very good. I like your style.
Scream.
Sorry, Scream.
Scream.
Scream. Also on the short list.
J&B.
J&B, of course, yeah. How could I forget?
Mr. Scruff, but then I'm a little bit older.
Mr. Scruff, that would be interesting.
Have
yeah.
you performed with Mr. Scruff?
Sorry?
You worked with Mr. Scruff?
I've DJed with him over the years, yeah.
Good artist?
He's very, his show's not quite so stadium-y based. That's the good thing about kind of dubstep, is like it's proper football arena music. And he's more kind of cosy, but nice idea.
Any more from Mr. Scruff? This is his last chance.
Oh, I'll go with bass actor.
Okay. That's the first one. That's the first one I haven't heard of, right?
They killed Secret Garden.
Really?
Absolutely.
We are noting these down. That's one not on our list so far. Bass nectar.
If anyone's got any more ideas, then please throw them this way. Just put your hand up. Okay, first question which I have been sent to ask on their behalf is from Ross Murray. And he, I don't know if it's Ross or Ross, he or she, remembering the Big Beach Boutique 2, one of the greatest nights of my life to date, did you ever imagine that so many people would turn up to see you do a DJ set? Even after the problems, did it go down in your book as the greatest set you've ever played?
It goes down in my books as one of the greatest nights of my career, stroke life. I think the set I played wasn't necessarily the best because by then there was so much chaos going on. And
so you play live to the audience, you don't plan the set before you go on?
No. We sort of plan vaguely what you're going to play, but it depends on sort of the weather and the mood. And yeah, no, you never actually program the set. But I just remember because by then the police were kind of like, could be a disaster. They were going to sort of pull the plug, but then we worked out it'd be a worse situation if we did. So I kind of at any minute they said if we come up and tell you to stop, you just stop. Don't argue with us. So yeah, it wasn't probably the best set I've ever played, but for an occasion, I don't know if any of you were around in Brighton 10 years ago. Just seeing 250,000 people on a beach, all overexcited, and a beautiful sunset and a beautiful night. It was fantastic, but it was quite fraught.
Okay. And did the police come up and say stop at any point?
No. But they did, before I went on, they said we might tell you to stop, and if we do. We had to stop for about 5 minutes because there were some people on a bit of the beach where the tide was going to come in and trap them, so we had to switch the music.
Didn't plan for the tide, yeah?
No. You would have thought, wouldn't you?
Thanks for that question, Ross. Zayed Ali says, where will you find the energy to perform over 70 gigs in 12 months, and what will you do to unwind when you're done?
I find the energy increasing by not drinking. Because, I quit drinking 3 years ago, and that was kind of what really takes its toll when you're having late nights and just waking up with hangovers. So I've definitely got a few more years out of my career by doing that. But most of all, I just feed off the crowd. Travelling all day is quite tiring, but as soon as you get on stage, you just kind of look at everybody having fun. And I kind of just feed off that, and I feel 16 again. I definitely behave like I'm 16 again.
How do you travel? Have you got a tour bus?
No, I can't fly.
You fly?
Yeah.
Fatboy
that, well, the distances involved are too much to drive it.
Yes.
And also, the best thing about being a DJ rather than being in a band is you don't have to cart articulated lorries full of equipment. I just basically take my laptop and a little mixer, and we hire everything in the other end. So kind of fly around. I don't think I could do 70 shows a year in a tour bus.
Yeah, sure.
Smelling everybody else's socks.
And does Zoe and the kids ever get to join you?
No.
That's it, you're on your own.
It's no place really for children or even wives. No, I mean it's good. Don't take that the wrong way. The thing is, most of the time you're just travelling. You literally, I mean, we go to lovely places where people go, oh, you're going to, Brazil, that sounds really glamorous. But the thing is, all you really see is airports and hotels and shows. You don't really get a chance to see where you are. And you're always on the move, so yeah, wives and children will just slow you down.
Have you got any guilty pleasures that you like to do, reading books, playing computer games, or it's literally just you and your computer?
At the moment, I'm completely hooked on Breaking Bad. I'm halfway through series 2 and it's quite addictive.
Mine over, I don't know what Breaking Bad is.
Breaking Bad's an HBO series about a university lecturer who is making enough money and has got cancer, so he decides to start cooking crystal meth.
Okay.
That's one for the people in the science.
Thank you, Zaya, for that question. Simon Board says, which live performance from around the world have you most enjoyed and why?
It'd probably be one of the Glastonbury's, simply because I play there every year, so I always feel at home. It always feels like a sort of celebration of mentalness. Sadly, because of the nature of Glastonbury, I don't remember a huge amount of the details of what went on. But they're probably my fondest memories. That or Brighton Beach, not the hectic one.
And is Glastonbury your favourite festival in the world?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I hold the record for the most consecutive appearances, which I think is 13.
I think that's worth a round of applause.
Which is great because only a DJ could do that. If you're a band, they won't let you play every year. But even when I'm not on the bill, I still manage to go there and get a gig.
Thank you, Simon, for that. Liam Trowler says, being part of the first generation of superstar DJs, there has been no one before you to lead by example, which makes me wonder if there will ever come a time when you say enough is enough and leave the DJing and producing behind and retire, in brackets, not that I hope you do.
That's you kind of answered the question. There is no sort of benchmark, because sort of me and Pete Tong and Oki, we are the first sort of this generation of DJs, so we don't know what the retirement age is. All we know is that it's not yet, and we're determined to push it. I think as long as I'm enjoying it and the crowd are enjoying it, then we'll carry on. The thing is, DJs, one of the reasons probably that we are DJs is rock stars, you have to be kind of good looking and young to do it. So there is a kind of cut-off age where you're supposed to retire. But DJs, we were never oil paintings in the first place. No one really has to watch us so much. So we can grow old and grey and bald and fat without anyone really noticing.
Now, I won't
as long as we can still do it musically.
I won't mention your age, you can find it on Wikipedia, but you still very dapper. What's your secret?
I'll tell you, I thrive off the eternal youth of watching young people having fun. I do, I sort of suck off their juices. That's just coming out.
Good question, Liam. Thank you very much for that. Emma Devaney says, now that you have conquered the music world, what other ambitions do you have?
Another interesting question. I think musically my only ambition is to do the soundtrack for a really good film. I do enjoy a good film, and nowadays a lot of films, they just kind of, the soundtrack's a compilation, but back in the 70s, somebody would score the whole film and they would have the flavour, like George Armroda did Midnight Express, or Ry Cooder did Paris, Texas. And I would like to do the whole score for it, but it would have to be a really good film, because it would take like 5 months.
What film would be your ideal film?
Something Coen Brothers, something with a bit of quality and substance.
Damon Albarn, he's an orchestra, isn't he? And he's going on to scoring as well. You ever thought about doing a symphony or something like that?
I don't think my grasp of orchestral music, or indeed writing and reading music, which I can't do.
What instruments do you play? Obviously you play bass.
I play tons of instruments sort of fairly well, but not... I mean, I play bass all right, I play guitar all right. I play enough to kind of program stuff into a computer. Which is why I kind of enjoy making music the way I do. I mean, I play guitar in bands, I play bass in bands, but I think I'm probably a better DJ than I am a musician.